Hey there, good friends. Welcome. New subscribers, I'm Brian from Apex Detail. Ceramic coatings for your automobile. They're not impervious to damage or scratching or dullness. You're not laying Dr. Strange's cape over your car, protecting it completely 100%. They are susceptible to scratching, overall dullness, a little bit of oxidation. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love them. It's all I do at the shop because there are so many benefits, not only to protecting your clear coat, but also every other substrate in your vehicle, and there's nothing else like it out there on the market. I see nothing else like it coming out to compete with it. So believe me, I do love them. It's just a little bit of a joke on how they're marketed, overhyped at some points, and their overall rating scale on the pencil scale, using a graphite, which is a 2 tops on the Mohs scale, to drag across it to give it its rating on the pencil scale. Just to get it that high number, it's kind of laughable at times, but that's just me. We are going to take a look at a product today that will rejuvenate, bring back to life a coating that may be aging, really worn coating, and this one has that. It's been coated 2 years ago, and it's a 2-year coating, and it goes through car washes almost every day on a daily basis. We're going to be recoating it soon, but just quite not time yet. So we're going to rejuvenate what's there and protect it until I get it back and I can do it. And we're going to use a product that will bring it back to life. I'm going to show you how it does that, what it does, and how I use it. Let's get to it. Here is CarPro Essence next to CarPro Essence Plus. The first one, CarPro Essence, the original formula, has the abrasives. That one I'll use to lay down a foundation for a coating. This one here has no abrasives. It's what I use to jewel an existing coating, sort of bring it back to life, rejuvenate it. 16 ounces, $39.99. Here's a vehicle that was coated almost 2 years ago with a 2-year coating. The life cycle is almost up, and as you can see from daily use driving through a car wash tunnel, it has some damage. They are not impervious to scratching. Yes, they do bump up the hardness of the surface of your car to resist scratches and minimize them. They don't eliminate them 100%. The product is quite similar to the Meguiar's polish in the D-line. No abrasive whatsoever, very dependent on the pad you choose. I have 3 laid out here we're going to play with. We have a section on the fender itself I have masked off, and we're going to play with this first section. We're going to use a very soft, very light polish pad at first. I want to show you and just take advantage of the fillers that are within. So within this formula we have fillers, surfactants, some solvents. It is a cleaner polish, but the polishing, the correcting comes from your pad. Guys, you could polish with water if you want to. If you have an aggressive enough pad, all you need is a little bit of lubrication to cut down on the friction and keep the heat down, and you'll be able to correct a car. Pressure is going to be only what the polisher weighs itself. We're not worried about correction, as we just want total coverage. So we're going to do crisscross pattern. We're going to cross hatch the formula, do a little cleaning, do a little filling, and a little protecting. I never liked the idea of filling. For me, I like correction. However, this is a very thin coating that's at the end of its life cycle. So maybe it's not a bad idea to just leave it alone and fill, because we're going to be removing it soon and recoating anyway. So that's why I wanted to show you this first step, what you can do with it here with no aggression whatsoever. When it comes to arm speed, that's going to be the normal correction speed at 1 inch every second or 2. When it comes to the speed of the polisher, for me, I never go above 3. I've seen in videos and on forums where you can use 3.5, 4 for this formula. I don't find that necessary. I keep to my own speed at 3 or lower, and it works just fine. For the first pass or 2, you will notice the formula becomes quite transparent, so you can keep an eye on the area you're correcting, the area you're going to, and the difference that it makes after you pass. So let me remove the masking tape, wipe off the residue. There is really hardly any residue, and you'll see some of this as we move on to each step. And removal's easy, very fast. There's not much to remove. It's a thin residue, and boy does it make the surface smooth and shiny again. I'm going to grab the camera and bring you in close. You'll see you'll easily see the definite line of where we stopped correcting. The area we worked on has a lot of depth to it. It's shinier. Just looks so much better as some of the micro scratches have been filled in a bit. I'll point out the deeper ones, the ones that still remain that it couldn't fill, but this was just used as a cleaner here and a filler to fill it in with the surfactants, the solvents, and also the protection. And don't be in a hurry to wipe it off. If you're working on a larger panel, correct that whole panel and then come back and wipe it off. Let all of those ingredients work on the panel. And this is what it'll look like with no aggression whatsoever. Now I have another little area masked off, and we're going to come in with a light polishing pad that has the ability to remove some of the lighter scratches and imperfections. And this will satisfy me as I get to correct a little bit, but will not wear through the existing older coating. It doesn't have a ton of correction, but we'll be able to both combine a little bit of correction with filling, and you'll get to see what that looks like. Let's talk a little bit about the protection. It's a polymer protection. It belongs in the sealant category. Will protect somewhere around 4 to 6 months if you use it as a standalone for some reason. I only use it for a topper or a stage or a step to reinvigorate an existing coating that's gone through some extremes, has taken a beating. You could use it by hand. I'm going to show you that towards the end of the video, and use it as a topper, like Reload would be for CarPro or Premier would be for IGL. It would absolutely work for a topper, just as successful as any of the other ones, really. Although absent of abrasives, it does include solvents and surfactants along with the protection. And just because there's no intentional abrasive, doesn't mean there is nothing in there whatsoever. For example, the Meguiar's D line of polish, microfiber polish, has a non-intentional abrasive in that one due to clay that is introduced to keep tabs of moisture. And who knows, there could be anything like that in this formula to assist with your abrasion or correction. Just keep that in mind. I'm always mindful to pick out an open cell foam pad, and that's what this is. Again, we're using light pressure and low speed, 3 and lower, to keep the temperatures down, taking care of both the coating and the clear coat underneath. Give me a second here to remove the masking tape, wipe off the residue. Again, the residue is very light. You don't even notice it from this distance away. Then I'll grab you guys, I'll grab the camera, bring you in for a closer look. Okay, you could easily see the two areas we corrected and the line that's absent any type of correction or product in between there. So on the left you have more of a filling agent. On the right we corrected and did a little bit of filling. All right, what about deeper scratches? Scratches that could even be through the coating and the clear coat to that extent in some areas. Well, we have something like that right here. We have some deeper scratches than what we were dealing with before. We have some through the coating. We might even have something into or through the clear coat here. We're going to work on that with, we're just going to spot correct when it comes to that, guys. And I'll use the Euro fiber pad, the 50/50. So we'll have a little bit of cut, but mostly polish. Switched from foam to microfiber. We want to make sure we prime the microfiber, a little bit more important than the foam. You could do that however you want with the product itself and then add a couple more drops. You can prime it. I prime it with a QED, which is Angel Wax QED. It's a quick detailer, gives a little bit of lubrication, and add a couple drops on top of that. Works just fine. However you want to go about that. And then we'll do the crosshatch pattern that I usually do, left to right, then up and down. If I have to, after that crisscross pattern, I'm going to take a pass over the area that has those deeper scratches and that may need another pass or two itself in that smaller area. By the way, as we're getting to this type of aggression when it comes to the pad you choose, we're really starting to do some work on that coating. But we are going after deeper scratches that are probably through the coating and down into the clear coat. So we want to do some correction there, and it's up to you. If you have just coated it not too long ago, you can recoat that area. Or if it's an aging coating such as this, I will use the protection that's in this formula and then top it with something like Premier or Reload or Can Coat or Overcoat, and that will hold it over until it's time to come in and remove the old coating and put on a new one. Here's that little area with the cross-shaped scratch, and I'm just going to go over that again one or two more times. We're not going to hover over the area for a prolonged period of time. All that does is just spike the temperature. It does even more harm and lays more stress upon the area. So let me bring you guys in to show you the film or the residue. It's transparent, no dusting whatsoever. You can work it for a very long period of time. It has a great cycle time, and you'll see just how easy it is to wipe off. There, in fact, is a small area where the scratch remains that is down through the coating and has gone pretty far into the clear coat. I'll worry about fixing that later. But let me remove the masking tape so you can see the edges here where we stopped correcting. Definitive line, a huge difference, nice turnaround. Okay, and finally, if you have a coating that's not in bad shape, you want to give it a little bit of a topper, give it some extra shine, maybe it's dulling a little bit, well, you can absolutely use the formula by hand. You don't need a polisher whatsoever. Grab yourself microfiber applicator or a nice soft foam applicator, put a couple drops on there and work it in by hand. All right, that's going to do it, and very shortly I'll bring you in so you could see even that has turned around the area. You're still going to have your scratches and some of the imperfections, but they'll start to be filled in pretty well. Okay, guys, once again, no abrasives. Surfactants, yes. Fillers, yes. Solvents, yes. It's going to be dependent on the pad you choose, depending on if there's anything wrong with the coating at all, really. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.